welcome back to The Real. I am Nadine, and this is my husband.
Hey, how is everyone doing today? It is Jason.
And we just want to say welcome to all our new subscribers and say thank you to our faithful subscribers. And we just want to apologize for not being, keeping up with the videos. We have been in transition, and I believe we said that the last couple videos that we have been in transition, and we're still in transition. Probably almost, would you say almost?
Sure.
And our...
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so, but we're here now, and I'm just gonna let husband talk.
So yes, we definitely apologize for not keeping up with the videos. I don't believe we did one last month. And unfortunately, my wife and I were sick. And if you're sick, it's very difficult to get on camera and record a video.
Right.
So we do apologize. And with that said, being sick, it kind of brought up today's video topic. We're going to do something else, but I just want to have kind of a conversation about our time with sickness.
Right.
And we're going to talk about today's topic of taking care of your spouse while they are sick.
Yes.
No one ever wishes this upon their spouse. No one wants to have to take care of someone who is sick, and obviously we don't want it, but it will happen at some point, and how it's done is very important. So, unfortunately, we had COVID. We got COVID last month. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about that. And each of us had to take care of the other while we had COVID. We did not have it at the same time, praise God. But we each got a round of having it and taking care of the one with it. So we'll jump into that a little bit now. So we'll do ladies first. Just talk to us a little bit about your overall experience with COVID. Let's just start with that.
Okay.
How was it for you? How did you feel it was for you? She got it first, by the way.
Yes. I felt that it was my first time being sick, and so it was rough. It was really, really rough for me, and it was painful. And and I hate it. I felt like it was one of my worst experience. Actually, again, that's my first time ever being sick, so it was really bad for me.
Roughly how long would you say you had to deal with it?
Deal with COVID in general,
Yeah.
or just deal with symptoms? Because it's two different, like,
whichever you want to speak to.
Okay, so I'm gonna deal with the first part of it, because like when I just discovered I had COVID, it was on a Wednesday, and I just wasn't feeling good. At first I thought it was allergies, and I was at work and walking, and I thought it was allergies, and I got home, and once I got home, I literally just like dropped on the sofa, like I don't know what's going on. I start having cold sweat, and my body was in pain, and I had a fever of 100. What was it? Because you took my temperature. Like, was it 105 or something, or 99, close to that?
It was over 100 for sure.
Okay.
I don't think it was 105 though.
Okay.
But it was over 100.
Okay, so it was over 100, and at that point, I knew right then and there that I had COVID. So like I was in a lot of pain for the first, second, and well, I had a fever for the first and the second, third, and fourth day. I felt like someone hit me. Someone beat me up, like a truck ran over me. And no, I do not know what that feels like, because the truck never ran over me, but that's how I felt. And so I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. And I like to talk. And I couldn't talk, and because every time I would, say something, it felt like I was dying, like I couldn't breathe. I was gasping for breath, and I never experienced that before. And my body, like, I couldn't get comfortable. I was just laying there, and if I turn on my left side, it hurt. If I turn on my right, and it didn't matter how I set myself on the bed, I was in pain. My head, it felt like someone was sitting on top of my head. I couldn't move it. It was so heavy. So I would say probably day 5, from day 1 to day 5, I was in bad shape. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll fill in some of the details I think that you may have missed that I think are key. I believe your fever broke like 2 days in.
No, it broke. Because I went to take the test the second day. When I found out a Wednesday, I had to take the test on a Thursday for my job.
So within a day.
So exactly. So when I went to take the test for my job, I didn't have the fever then.
Yeah, she was definitely knocked out the first, I'd say 3 days, but the first day for sure, she didn't eat anything. Just slept pretty much the entire day. And the second half of the day, and I think I kind of had to force you to eat something the second or third day, or suggest that you eat something. But yeah, you were just really, really out of it and really sick.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll describe my experience, and obviously you can jump in with anything I missed. I started to get it a Saturday night. I was washing or attempting to get some clothes ready to wash, and then I started to feel really, really warm. And I was like, okay, I think my body temperature started to change, and then I started to get this crazy headache. So I took something for the headache and laid down and got up the next morning, and the headache was still really, really, really bad. And I think I had a low-grade fever at that time, but as the day went on, the fever definitely got worse and worse and worse. And I had a fever for, I want to say at least, let's just say 4 days. Uncontrollable fever. It was over 100 at times, down to the least I think we got down to was about 98.
Yeah.
And I was taking Tylenol like crazy, but we spoke to a nursing friend of ours and apparently wasn't taking enough Tylenol, so we went up from like 650 to like 1,000 milligrams. And it was bad. It was just a headache for all of those days, a fever for all of those days.
Right.
Yeah, and sleeping was very interesting. So, we had the windows open. So we both quarantined too. That's an important piece. And yeah, it was just hard. I kept trying to sleep upright because we discovered that late into Nadine's time. And my neck was killing me, and I would do everything to try to get my neck a little less sore. But that was, I think, my experience. Did I miss anything?
No, because yeah, you're right. You had a fever about 4 days. You were taking a Tylenol, and what else? Is that it? That's all you took? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you covered everything.
So let's, I guess, rate each other. Let's rate how you felt your spouse took care of you on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you feel that I took care of you?
I'm gonna let you go first on this one. No, I mean, all fairness, I went first on the first one. Yes, I had it first, and
yeah, I'm gonna give you I'll give you an 8.
Okay.
I'll give you an 8, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're gonna give me an 8, and this is, I'm gonna give you a 7. Fair. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a 7.
That's fair. I think you're being generous, but I'll take the 7.
Well, yeah, I thought about it, and I was just like, yeah, should I give him a 6? But yeah.
So, all right. So let's do this. Let's talk about what you liked about the other person caring for you while you were sick.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go first. How she thinks about that. So. Very attentive. Nadine was very attentive. She came in the room often. Gave me quite a bit of things. Yeah, so I would say very attentive and frequent visits.
Okay, and I would say that is about you as well. That I would say you made sure that whatever I needed at that time was provided. So you were a great provider, as you are now. So I didn't need for anything really, because you constantly ask me, or you constantly like, I'm going to the store every day, so I always had something on hand. Yeah, and I didn't take any medication at all. Yeah, I basically was drinking a lot more.
Yeah.
I didn't eat for probably about 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but yeah, you made sure that I had everything I needed. Yeah.
So then, what are some things that you wish your spouse would have done differently, if anything?
I think I would have appreciated if you would have been a little more attentive to me. Just there were times when you was come in the room and I just felt like I did something wrong. Yeah, like I was the one that caused COVID on myself, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I expressed it to you.
You did.
Because yeah, I wouldn't hold anything back. I'm not that person.
Right.
So I expressed that to you. So I definitely wish that you didn't make me feel as if I caused it on myself, and that you were mad at me personally for doing that. And I told you that.
You did.
Yeah, yeah. But how about you?
Yeah, I think for me, I think two things. One, she mentioned medication, so obviously I took Tylenol. And there were some other things I wanted to take as well, and she was just like, "You don't need those," and I'm like, "You don't know if I need those or not." I guess that's the big baby in me. But, you know, we were getting a lot of information from a lot of different outside sources and things like that. And I was like, well, let me just try it. And she's like, well, I didn't have that, so you don't need it. And I'm like, well, everyone is different. So maybe that. And I think the only other thing was, I think my wife was actually, if there's such a thing, too caring. I was almost like, you know, I'm fine. Like, I would tell her almost every day, like, I'm going to be okay. It's fine. You know, I'm good. And she'd come back in 2 minutes, like, what else do you need? And I'm like, I'm good. So she definitely did her job. So, you know, let me fill you all in on parts of why we're laughing and kind of some of the things that we're dancing around. So, obviously, Nadine got she got COVID first. And some of what she's talking about with me going in there and seeming angry and upset. This was the first time either of us got COVID. None of us had it previously, and I really did not want to get COVID. I was doing my best not to get COVID. So because she had it first, I was like masking up. I was spraying disinfectant everywhere, you know, washing everything and wanting everything to be, you know, as sterile as possible. And I made it 10 days without getting it at all. And I felt like we were doing good. And I was like, no, you guys stay in the room longer. Like, be quarantined even longer. Be quarantined. She's like, I'm fine. I took another time. Like, no, stay in there longer because I didn't want it. And so that fear, I definitely believe, got in the way of me taking care of her at times. And I think that's some of what she's expressing. That concern was, at times, I'll be honest, more prominent to me than even taking care of my wife, which is not good. But I just heard so much about COVID, and I was watching her like go through it, and like, this thing is crazy. And so I definitely allowed my fear to get in the way. I'm gonna let her talk too, but what I felt about her experience is, you know, with her having already gone through it, the possibility of her, you know, getting it again so quickly or whatever, I think was reduced, which made her even more comfortable. I feel like she was in there a lot more than I was in there for her, and definitely giving me more because it wasn't like, you got cooties, you know, stay away. And I think that's some of what she's talking about. But I'll let her, you know, fill in whatever she wants from her point of view or whatever. I'll just let her talk.
Oh, thank you. I can talk now. Okay, so for me personally, I am a very caring individual. Too much at times. And my husband experienced that all the time. But I guess when he had COVID, I was a lot more, you know, caring. So that and the medication, I'm not big on medication. And I didn't want him to constantly take in anything because I got through it without anything. And all I did was drink Gatorade and orange juice. And I figured that he would be able to do that as well because we're both healthy people, as we know. So I figured he would do it as well and not needing anything. And I believe that I experienced COVID, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, way harder or
yeah, your symptoms are
my
worse.
symptoms, right, was worse than
absolutely.
his. And if I was able to get through it without medication, in my mind, I'm like, well, tough it up, buddy. You can do it also, you know. So that's how
She did say that.
I said that to you. Yes, I did. Knowing me, I probably did. But yeah, that's how I felt. But honestly, and I understood that. I felt like you saying the reason why you wasn't in the room as much was because you were fearful for yourself, not getting it and stuff like that. So I understood that now, but then when I was going through it, to be real, I did it because, like I said, I expressed it to him. Like, why are you making it seem like I'm the problem? Like, I did this. So I didn't understand then. But, you know, for me, and again, my husband and I are totally different. He was trying to protect himself. And when he had it, and even if he was the first one, I still would have been who I am and go into the room 100 times and not think about that. So that's what's one of the biggest things I will say that makes my husband and I, we're two different people. Like, you know, I'm not saying that he's more selfish or think of self more, but I think the difference is I am a woman, and a lot of women, you can attest to this when you have children. It's just that motherly instinct in us that we don't need. You don't even have to have a child to be this way. So I believe that is just a natural part of me. So it's no shade to you, sweetie, or any kind of, you know, oh, he wasn't there for me. It's that motherly instinct. I even said to my supervisor, like, I felt so bad for my husband. I wish I can take his COVID away. I didn't want him to go through that, you know. But my supervisor said to me, that's because you are a female and that's that motherly instinct. So that's basically what that was, sweetie, okay? So yeah, with that being said, like, you know, I understood. Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely, I wanted to use this. We haven't talked about this since, obviously.
No, we haven't. Yeah.
How we're talking, but I thought it was a good conversation to sit down and have in front of you all.
Yeah.
After all, this is the Real with the Smiths.
Right.
But there are things that you can take from any given situation and kind of sit down and talk and figure out, well, what was good, what was bad, what would you have liked more, what would you have liked to see less, and then use them to get your personal relationship, your personal marriage better, your friendships even, you know, whatever relationships you're in with people. If you allow things to go and not talk about them, whether good or bad, people won't know, like, what works, what doesn't work. You have to sit down and stop and pause.
Facts.
And so
agreed.
She gets the gold star. I'll give myself the silver. And I still think that she was very nice. You know, I when I compare our experiences, I think probably like day 2 or 3, I was like, geez, she's in here a lot. And I was like, and I'm just thinking, like, I really was not in here this frequent. And for me, I think the independence, it didn't bother me as much, but I definitely know my wife is very touchy-feely, and, you know, she likes to be around me too. Not that I don't like to be around her, but I do feel that she was isolated longer than I was too, because she was first, and, you know, we just weren't sure how to deal with a lot of things, and so she was kind of the guinea pig in a lot of instances. And I learned from her experience, and like she said too, you also had the symptoms worse than I did. I really only had the headache and the fever that eventually finally broke, thank God, day 4.
Yeah. You know, it's something I want to also share is that in all of this, I thank God because what God did, and I didn't see it at that time, was I had it first. And then 10 days later to the date, my husband had it. And so he was able to take care of me while I was going through, and then the same with me taking care of him. So I just, I have to give God the glory for that, because that's how I believe that he works in our always, like, we both won't be down at the same time. Yeah, we won't be down at the same time. Like, we help each other up. So, to God be praised for that. So that's a really good thing. And something you said that I want to agreed with is that it's good to have these discussions. And something about us, another thing about us is that we do these discussions a lot. We will just be like, how is it going? How is marriage going? Are you loving on me today? Like, how you feel? Are you happy? So we ask those hard questions, and those questions keep you honest and let you know if something is not being address, or you have an issue or a problem and your spouse is not seeing it. So I think it's very important, like husbands say, in all relationships, to have checkups. When we started, I think we used to do checkup twice a year. But now we are truly in. Happy 4-year anniversary to us. We are truly in this. So we're doing a lot more checkups. I think we did one thus far this year, probably twice already. And so we keep doing a checkup to make sure, because it is important. And I said, the longer you are in your relationship is the more you should check up, because that's when you get relaxed and stop doing the things that you used to do when you first met, which is really, really important.
See how big that spot got. It is very, very important. So we definitely thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to follow us. Tell a friend to tell a friend about us. We'll let you know what it's really like, being married, dating, being engaged. We went through all of it. So with that said, we are going to say goodbye. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, not today.
Okay. Well, then please hit like, definitely subscribe, and make sure with that little arrow next to the subscription that you get all of the notifications, so whenever the videos do go live, you're able to get them. And you don't have to wait for me to go over to Facebook to give you the tag. You'll just know immediately when it goes live. We love you all, and we'll see you next time.